One of the things I love about living in the Bay Area is that I get to visit our Golden Gate National Park anytime I want to, and this is part of it. The Marin Headlands, Fort Cronkite, Rodeo Lagoon, it's absolutely beautiful. You know, many of us come out here to have a good time and to restore our sense of well-being. But there's some important restoration work going on here that we may not know about. Restoring a sense of hope for those in need, human beings and other animals. Every day, volunteers come to work in this valley for two different organizations. Some come to the aid of stranded animals at the Marine Mammal Center.
Hold tight, Rocky.
And others help kids living in homeless shelters discover the joys of childhood at the beach house.
My name is Latasha. Hi, I'm at the beach house. I'm swimming.
Latasha is one of hundreds of Bay Area kids who get to call this beach and this Park Service cottage their home for a day.
The fun stuff is playing.
Away from the stress of a big city shelter, they're free to just be kids.
The kids are the ones that are creating the day, creating the joy. It's also the funnest thing for me. Yeah.
Meanwhile, just 100 yards from the beach house, further up the same hill, sick and injured animals are being restored to health at the Marine Mammal Center. How old is Peaches?
Peaches is probably around a week or two old. He's extremely underweight.
Peaches is a stranded harbor seal pup, and Susan Andrus is a staff member whose goal is to release him in good health back into the Pacific. So Peaches might have been separated inadvertently from his mom.
That's right. Harbor seal moms can be quite shy, and if they sense that there are people around, they may not come back to retrieve their pups from the beach.
Young harbor seals cannot feed themselves yet, so volunteers prepare a nutrient-rich formula and feed these little guys through tubes. Fattening them up and curing their infections is just the first step in the rehabilitation process. Fish school is next.
They have to learn, they have to acquire the skills to free feed on their own, to eat fish out in the wild. And once they're able to go into the pools and feed on fish on their own, then they're ready for release.
600 to 800 elephant seals, sea lions, harbor seals, and sea otters are rescued every year and transported to this hospital that was once a Nike missile base. Susan, this looks like a real ER situation in here.
This is a seal and sea lion ER. This is our surgical area.
Veterinarians practice state-of-the-art medicine, and volunteers provide round-the-clock care.
We have about 800 volunteers.
800 volunteers?
800 volunteers.
All walks of life, all ages?
All walks of life, all ages, 18 and up.
Some of the work seems exciting. Some of it mundane, but every volunteer calls it rewarding. Jane Oka is an artist who's given one day a week for 20 years.
When I started working, I thought I would be helping wildlife, and it turned out to be quite the opposite. The wildlife is really helping me.
One of the unexpected benefits for me is that it's renewed a little bit my faith in human nature.
Mike Sinakis believes the animals bring out the best in people. Maybe that explains why 100,000 visitors line up at the fence each year just to get a glimpse of these charismatic creatures.
The sea lions have little earlobes or ear flaps.
And returning them to the wild is the moment every volunteer works for. A 600-pound sea lion named Ajax is making his way to freedom. And the volunteers who restored his health send him off with their best wishes.
There's a lot of species on this planet. You know, a lot of them are becoming extinct because of us. And that makes me a little bit angry. So, I mean, volunteering at a place like this is just, it's something small that I can do to try and offset that.
Is there Morty's?
Many other small acts of restoration are going on at the little cottage back down the hill from the Marine Mammal Center.
My name's Rocky.
Rocky is 5 years old. He lives with his family in a San Francisco shelter.
Okay, go. Up.
The most important thing in his life right now is learning to fly a kite. He and 3 other kids are spending an afternoon at the beach house.
Run!
Getting the complete attention of volunteers and staff from the organization A Home Away from Homelessness.
Careful.
And with that kind of encouragement,
Hang on, Rocky. I'll get it. We'll find a way.
he can't help but succeed.
Go, go! Watch where you're going. All right. I probably felt as good as he did. I guess I felt the same accomplishment. We did it. We did it. Yeah.
For Pat Woods, volunteer time at the beach house is a healing experience.
Bye. Have fun. There's not a time when they have to think about their troubles, and by the same token, you don't have to think about yours. And you just play.
When I get to teach a kid about the ocean and why it tastes salty, or explain how the waves work, it's really an amazing experience.
Sarah Kennedy is a staff member.
And it really keeps me from taking things for granted.
The beach house is a lot of things that many of us might take for granted. It's a place where kids who've learned some pretty hard lessons in life can experience the pleasure of sharing. It's a place where kids can have dinner together and wear furry slippers, have a dollhouse to play with, and look for their picture in a family photo album.
It feels like home. It's everything you would expect to see.
The beach house survives on donations and grants and the tireless commitment of volunteers.
A homeless kid has so few things that they can call their own. When they go to the beach house, that is their place. It's their home. Those are their toys. It's their beach, their ocean, and these are their friends.
And these are pretty good things to have. For harbor seals learning to catch a fish, children learning to fly a kite, and adults learning to find the magic in both, this little valley in our national park really is a place of restoration. We don't like to preach on our show, but we think these are 2 organizations that are doing good and important work, and they deserve our help.